Hi, I'm S.Wilson. Some people call me the Wiz. I live on the Gold Coast and I do a lot of tournament fishing, mainly for bream, but I use my boat for everything, all sorts of fishing. I'm sponsored by Pure Fishing and Simrad and have been for a long time, and yeah, I just love fishing. I've had E-Tex for about 15 years now, all the different models, 75, 90, 175, 150. Very easy to use, really good hole shot, which, you know, when you're crossing the seaway or any bar on the New South Wales, Queensland area, having that instant power makes a huge difference going in and out of bars. So I do a little bit of offshore work as well. So my boat allows me to do that, and I find the motor allows me to run whether I'm running shallow or offshore or wherever. I really rely on it. I've used the outboard, it's got 1,000 hours on it, and I pretty well use it nearly every week. 1,000 hours doesn't seem like a lot over 10 years, and that's because I use it mainly to go from A to B, and I fish off the electric. So if I had to rely on the outboard in that same time, it'd probably have about 3,000 hours on it. The main feature that I like in an outboard is the reliability and hole shot and that. With a lot of tournaments I fish, I like to get out of the hole and get going pretty quick. Yeah, well, I've fished a lot of tournaments. I've fished tournaments since 2002. I've had a few different motors, but I've had this motor fishing tournaments for 10 years and it hasn't let me down at all. So 10 years of hard tournament fishing, you know, says a lot about the motor. I took one of my mates out fishing a couple of years ago now. We went chasing little marlin just out off through Tweed, and we were within watching distance of the surfers at Snapper Rocks, and we hooked 5 marlin that day, right while we were watching the surfing. The good thing about that was my mate's friend was out the day before and wanted him to go with him, but he didn't. He went out to Moreton 140 litres later and no fish, and I reckon we used 20 litres all up for the day, and we hooked 5, so that was something to remember. I've got a couple of friends that have brought Evinrude motors after being on my boat. Yeah, a couple of them have switched over to the E-Tex, so yeah, and they're happy as with them. So the thing they like about them most, some of them have gone from 4 strokes, and is just getting out of the hole. That was half their problem. Now they just hit the throttle and instantly on the plane and away they go. My favourite feature of the Evinrude is cost. I can spend more money on fishing and less on servicing and fuel and things like that. I would recommend someone purchasing an E-Tex, one, for over time you're going to save yourself a lot of money. 2, very reliable. 3, you put those extra people in your boat. With the 4-stroke, very hard to get out of the hole. 2-stroke, it's the torque and the instant out of hole shot is really good. So once you start loading it up, family, things like that, gear, you know, that extra torque makes a huge difference.